Hey guys, what's up? Let me know if you can hear me okay. This is the first time that we've ever done a live from home. I've got a mic. Hopefully that's working. I'm actually about to hop in and check the levels. This is going to be a little bit of a test stream, I suppose. There may be some buffering, there may be some other issues, but we're gonna try to get them ironed out. Oh, that's better. Whoa, that's loud. Okay, perfect. Now I don't have to lean over the mic in order to talk. That's much more appropriate. What's up, Dave? Good to see you. Alex Campbell's here. What's up, Alex? Hi, wife. How's it going? I think that YouTube got a little bit overexcited with my bitrate settings, and I don't think I can change them midstream, which is kind of annoying. Let me see if I can change this. Apply. Okay. Alright, I lowered the bitrate way down, so let me know if this is better. Hopefully this is better. We'll see. If not, we might have to end the stream and then start a new one, which is fine. You know, I'm happy to just kind of restart because it is still early on. We'll see if it gets better. I'm glad it sounds good. Audio is usually our problem here, so if we have an issue with the bitrate, that's easy to fix. What's up, Asus? So yeah, let me know, is it better? Are we better on the buffering and the bitrate? Because I did go in and change the bitrate. I might have to restart the stream in order for it to take effect. So let me know if we have an improvement. From what I can see on the preview, it looks better, but that's just me. So I'm interested to hear your feedback. Seems to be working. Okay, good. Thanks, Thomas. So this is it, guys. There's not a lot here. I'd give you a big tour, but it's really just this room. I got a new PC just to make sure that we didn't have any technical problems while we were trying to do this. I brought the R6 from the office, so we've got that nice, good video on there. We do have the 16 to, I think it's 35. Yeah, 16 to 35, so we can still zoom in, do our normal kind of zoom in stuff. And then I brought a couple lasers with me. If you can see them over there, I think you can. So this is the 30 watt Mactron fiber. And then over here we have the Off-Arrow 1 diode laser from Ortur. And I have them kind of tactically positioned in front of this window over here because it's a side opening window. So it'll be really easy to exhaust out that window, unlike this one over here, which is a conventional window. So that one's up and down. And also there's like a tree right outside this window, and stink bugs are always like finding their way into the house every time I open it up. And I'm not dealing with it, so that window's staying closed. Also, this is Miranda's gaming PC. So, you know, hopefully Miranda and I can actually play some games together now that we have a place to do it. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of it. I've got my shelf over here, got a little ring light. This trash bag is full of little, like, nerdy trinkets, I guess, if you want to call them that, that need to go on that shelf over there. I've got some of my film photography equipment. I've got some Zelda stuff up there, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to be home around my things and kind of work in a more relaxed environment. It's not as versatile as the shop, obviously. So we still need the shop. We're not leaving the shop. The shop isn't closing. I just wanted somewhere where we could get together after hours, after work, where I'm home. You know, I can be here for my family if I need my family. Or I mean, well, yeah, if I need my family, but if my family needs me, specifically Miranda with the 2 kids, right? Don't want to leave her home alone, you know, dealing with both of the kids all night, every night. It gets exhausting. So I can come home and then get the kids in bed, and then I can come up here and we can actually like get some work done too, after normal business hours if the shop is closed. So that's the main reason that we're up here. This still seems just a little loud, like almost like I'm just barely clipping. So I'm going to turn that volume down a little bit. Once I get it set where I want it, I don't really ever change it again. So hopefully we should be kind of locked in by the time we're done with this stream. We'll have things all kind of dialed in and stuff. But yeah, this is it. This is the office. I wish I could show you the desk view in front of me. Is pretty impressive here as well. But I don't have. That's one of the things that I don't have yet. Is I have a webcam. It's in the box for the laser cam, but I don't have a tripod to put it on, to put it in front of the desk. So I need to pick one of those up. Not that we couldn't do lasering today if we wanted to. We could. I've tested the fiber. I haven't tested the diode yet. I've tested the fiber, and I know that the fiber works. So it survived the trip from the shop to the house. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. You know, we can hang out if you guys have any questions or whatever. You want to chat? I don't know. I didn't really come into this with a plan. I just wanted to show you guys what I did. Who's in the Pokeball? I stole this from Felix because it was going to end up in the trash, and I didn't want it to end up in the trash, so I took it. It's Pikachu, of course. Who else? I've got a lot of stuff like this. If you guys want to see my video game stuff, I've got plenty of it. Who knows? Maybe we'll do like some late night like video game stuff. It'd be cool after hours. I've got the Nintendo Switch dock over here. We could get down on that. I've got a ton of awesome PC games. Maybe like a game night. I don't know. Question: talk about CO2 galvos. Why you need beam expanders, etc. And how about a 30 millimeter lens? Do you mean a 300? I hope you don't mean. I've never seen a 30 millimeter lens that would be like that far away from the material, which would be crazy. Kyle's got metal Pokeballs he intends to engrave. That's dope. Yeah, we can talk about CO2 Galvo for a second. So, CO2 Galvo. The idea with the... So, I have some... Alright, so I'll give you guys a little preview, actually, because I was saving this for an episode that's going to come out after the photo episode. And yes, I'm still working on the photo episode. But let me see if I can find the slides that I was going to use for this episode that I'm working on. That's the wrong folder. Here we go. Laser everything. Slide videos. Slides. Okay. Sorry, Drive is syncing because I've never opened any of these folders on Drive before, so they're all streaming. Okay, so where's OBS? Here it is. Still getting used to my new setup. So if I click desktop here, perfect. So check this out. So here we go. So I'll even make this bigger. So beam expanders and scan heads, right? So if we have, let's see, which one comes first? I guess this one comes first. So F theta lenses by nature, the bigger the beam that goes into the F theta lens, the smaller the dot that comes out the other side when you're in focus. Okay, so basically we have the same diameter beam, coming out of both of these are, let's just call them RF tubes, okay? The same diameter. The 2X blows it up twice as big, and the 6X blows it up 6 times larger than the inherent diameter of the beam. So when this larger 6X beam is passed through the F theta lens, you actually get a smaller dot size. This isn't just true for CO2 galvos. This is true for fibers and UVs and anything else that uses an F theta lens. The reason that we talk about it so much in relation to CO2 galvo is because CO2 galvo, by its inherent nature, is the most problematic with dot size. It has the largest spot size in general. So it takes a little more effort on CO2 lasers to get a small dot size than it does on the other ones. So typically a 10 millimeter head provides a plenty small dot size. That's what we usually have on our fibers and our UVs. But you need at least a 20 millimeter. Some industrial applications have 30 millimeter heads or even larger to get this dot size as small as possible. And sometimes 20 millimeters isn't enough. So how do you know what size head you actually need? That's where this comes in over here. So let's just assume for a second that our RF tube is producing a 3 millimeter beam, a beam that's 3 millimeters in diameter, okay? If that goes through a 3x beam expander, it's going to become a 9 millimeter beam. Now, the 10 millimeter head is called a 10 millimeter head because it's got 10 millimeter mirrors inside of it. And the 9 millimeter beam fits comfortably on those 10 millimeter mirrors, all right? If we take that same 3 millimeter beam and we pass it through a 6x beam expander, that is now going to become an 18 millimeter beam, a laser beam with a diameter of 18 millimeters. That blows way over the size of our 10 millimeter mirrors, but would fit comfortably on mirrors twice as large, right? So if we had 20 millimeter mirrors in here, those would catch the 18 millimeter beam perfectly. The reason we don't want this happening, one, could we damage our machine? Maybe. It's so defocused because it hasn't passed through the F theta lens that there could be an issue with, we don't want like stray beams sloshing around on the inside of our Galvo scan head for sure. But the real issue is that all of this energy up here along the top and all of this energy down here along the bottom that is not being caught and passed on by the mirrors is being wasted. So you're actually going to feel, your laser is going to feel much, much weaker because you're just not reflecting all of this power, that's falling outside of the mirrors through the F theta lens. So you're wasting energy, which isn't what we want. We want to capture all of our energy and have it all reflected down to the material. So knowing what size head you need to pair with which expander is important. And you know which head you need by knowing your inherent beam diameter. Okay, so this is the diameter of the beam coming out of the source. And you can find this information on any kind of like general laser, site, page, information, description, specs page, whatever you want to call it. It's available. So if you know your beam diameter coming out of your source, you can then determine what the beam size will be after passing through the expander, and then you will know if you have a large enough head or if you need to purchase a bigger one, or purchase a smaller expander, I guess, if you want to sacrifice some dot size, and deal with a slightly larger dot size. It may be worth it because scan heads are expensive. So that's that. Hopefully that's what you want to talk about. I guess I have one more slide. So here's the same example. The 3 millimeter passing through the 6X, right, gives us an 18 millimeter beam, but it is dealt with effectively by the 20 millimeter head mirrors. So, yeah, that's that. It's not AP physics. It's not that bad. It's simple math. It's very, very basic multiplication. So, I have faith you guys can handle it. Where are we at? Been about 15 minutes into this one. 27 of you guys. What's up? That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. You made it so easy. Yeah, I guess. I want to fire up the lasers. I wish we could do some lasering right now. I'm just not ready yet. But Miranda was like, you have to do a Friday Live Day and show off the new studio. So I wanted to do it. But you know, I can't wait to get these fired up. It's a great excuse too, since we're going to be locked in here with just the fiber and the diode when we're home, when we're shooting from the at-home studio. We might actually get some diode work done, which would be really cool. So, where are we at? I'm in Fort Worth. That's not what I meant, but good to know. So, you know, we might actually do some diode stuff, which would be super cool, because I've had the Offero 1 and the Laser Master 2 Pro for a really long time, and we haven't really gotten to use them too much. Alex wants to know how the marketplace is coming. The marketplace is sick. The marketplace looks really, really good. We're getting into the really difficult stuff now. The stuff that makes it. You know how people say if it was easy, everybody would do it. We're getting into the stuff that is not easy now. I'm looking to see if there's anything. There's not. I mean, I can show you guys again. Here it is. Here's the marketplace, and it's dope. The things that we're really struggling with right now are vendor payouts. That's something that I want done the right way the first time, and we're not there yet. So I'm not ready to launch, just because I want to make sure that, of course, our awesome vendors get paid for all of the stuff that they're selling, right? The vendors need to get paid. I think shipping could be a little easier too. Right now, all of our vendors have to purchase shipping labels from a third party and then input the tracking numbers into the order system in order to fulfill orders. And I don't love that. I would like them to be able to purchase and print postage in our back end, which turns out that's a very tall order. So those are the two things: vendor payouts and purchase and printing postage. Very big hurdles, but we are making progress. I have a dedicated development team working on the postage situation, and then we're working with borderless payments, borderless international payments for a wire transfer system that we're having custom built, so that our vendors can simply put their bank information in and request a payout at any time, and there's an automatic wire transfer, and it's done. So those are the two ways that we're, you know, really trying to kind of get things dialed in to the point where we feel comfortable launching. So when those two things are out of the way, we'll likely go live. I'm also looking to set up booking so that people can book appointments with one another. That's kind of back burner at the moment, but it's still hot on the radar. So when the other really big things are dealt with, that'll be the next big thing that we're going to tackle, because I want to get that up as soon as possible. So you know, it's coming along. We're on track. I don't feel like we're behind. I feel good about what we've been able to do so far. So and I'm feeling really positive. I'm feeling really positive about the professionals that we've kind of brought on to work with to get those things ironed out. So yeah, the last 10% is another 90% work. Totally. Does the fiber produce bad fumes when working with metals? Yeah, it really does depend on the material. Kyle's absolutely right. Always exhaust. Always exhaust everything, period. There's no reason not to exhaust. You really want to get that stuff out. So yeah, I the way that's how we're going to do it over here. So we'll have an exhaust fan mounted right here in the window, and then one hose is going to go out the window, and then the other hose from the other side is probably just going to wrap around and sit right here and suck it away, and then no longer our problem, right? Let Mother Nature deal with it. That's my motto. So yeah, always exhaust. You always want to exhaust. Just reorganizing my windows a little bit. I don't really like how, okay, there we go. That's better. Now I can like look more at you guys when I'm reading questions and stuff. Doodle-doo. Hey Paul, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we gotta get these lasers up and running. When I end the stream today, that's gonna be it's gonna be what I'm working on for sure. Just getting things, you know, workable. Again, I'm short a tripod. Otherwise, we would have that fiber laser on right now. I'd just stick a fan in the window and we'd call it a day. But I don't have a tripod. So I can't, you know, I mean, I could put the webcam on like the desk, I guess, or like maybe tape it up to the head or something janky like that, but, you know, probably not today. If you haven't already smashed the like button, guys, don't forget to do it. What is the first thing you're going to do with the home fiber? Well, the first thing that I'm doing with it actively right now is finishing the photo episode. If you guys haven't already heard, I'm producing like a complete photo guide. It's our biggest episode we've ever made, ever. And this project has actually put me behind on it a little bit, but I think that now that it's done and I have this space, I'll be able to get more work done again after hours. So finishing that episode is the first thing that laser is going to do. It's going to kind of like help me knock out the rest of that episode, which is a monster episode. It makes the timing episode look short and basic. We really go into a ridiculous amount of depth. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys. Should be soon. I was hoping for a publishing tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a little later. Paul Mays says, question. I have an Omron 60 watt laser inline extraction fan along with the stock fan, but the smoke still lingers on the bed. Any ideas? A bigger inline could help. Are you making sure that you're replacing the air you're removing? A lot of the problems that people have, especially on like an enclosed laser system, is they have a hole in the machine and the fan is sucking air out of the hole, but there's no way for new air to come in and replace it. So you're basically creating a vacuum inside of your machine. So while it's counterintuitive, you actually want something on the other side of the laser open, whether it's like just a panel door or like one of the front hatches or even the lid. You want fresh air to be able to come in and replace the air that you're trying to suck out of it. Otherwise you're just creating a vacuum and then stuff just kind of sits still, which isn't super good. It's obviously not ideal. So you know, make sure that you're not creating a vacuum. Have some way, some avenue for fresh air to enter the machine so that the bad air can exit. Yeah, side panel door. I mean, something, anything really will do the trick. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just something the same diameter as your exhaust hole or greater. You know, and really just kind of allow that fresh air to come in, and that's going to make a it's going to make a big difference. Lift the bed with anything to allow airflow underneath. Yeah. Yep. Sorry guys, kind of a low key stream today because we're not working on projects. So. But I'm happy to answer questions as they come in. We can hang out for a little bit longer. We've been going for about 26 minutes, so I'm chilling. If you want more, Alex Campbell was the first one to tell me that the centrifuge fans do better with static pressure as well. So, those might be good. Matt B says, so what made you want to focus on photos? Well, I suck at photos. I'm really, really bad at doing photos, or I was really, really bad at doing photos. It was always kind of a weak point for me, and I was embarrassed by it. So I wanted to learn how to do it better, so I could, represent that better on the channel, and I can. The guide is effective. It's a great guide. I had a lot of help building this guide from Jason over at Lightburn, who provided a lot of insight and kind of like educational tidbits for me that I could kind of build out into this guide. And then the other thing that made me want to focus on photos was frickin' my inbox on the Laser Master Academy. The LMA members really, really wanted to see photos done, so that's kind of why we ended up going that direction. Speaking of which, what do you recommend for a cheap, sturdy bed? What do you, when we're saying bed, do you mean like a honeycomb table, or like a workbench? Let's just clarify a little bit what you mean by bed so that I know what I'm recommending. Because I see a shit ton of people trying to be better at them. Do you think Lightburn is going to help instead of just EasyCAD 2? Yeah, absolutely. Lightburn has a feature that they just added. Actually, CO2 or gantry users, even diode users, can use this right now. It came out in the latest update to Lightburn. It's called dot width adjustment. We're gonna get into it later in the video. It's not that complicated, but basically it fixes a problem that absolutely 100% cannot be fixed in EasyCAD. There's just no way to tell the laser to do the thing in EasyCAD that the dot width adjustment does in Lightburn, and it makes all the difference in the world. It's really incredible what they were able to pull off with this dot width adjustment. We're going to talk all about that in the photo engraving episode, so we'll sink our teeth into it and get really, really deep into that when that episode comes out. Again, I was hoping for tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow. Probably early next week at this point, maybe like Monday or Tuesday. Yes, honeycomb. I don't know. I've never ordered one before. They sell them on AliExpress, but the shipping is so expensive. That's the hard part about buying the honeycomb tables, is that just getting them shipped anywhere is painfully expensive. And then if you try to buy them domestic, they already paid to have them shipped in, so then the prices are like double or triple what they are directly from China. So a honeycomb bed is a honeycomb bed, unless you're buying some kind of like crazy, super high-end, domestic-made product. They're all coming out of the same couple of factories. So, as long as you can find one that's the right dimensions for your bed, I wouldn't have a lot of hesitance in just picking one of the generic ones up. I don't think you need like a special brand name or anything. Just my 2 cents. Chris King, just to run through, you gave on the last live stream, helped me make a decent photo. Nice. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Chris. So go watch the last live stream that we did. We just did a live stream where we actually got into photos because somebody asked me in the live chat if I could talk about photos a little bit. So I actually kind of did like a little sneak preview of the photo engraving episode in that live stream. It was very loose. We didn't go super hard into it. We didn't get super technical, but we did get into it. And Chris is saying that was actually helpful. So check that out. Jimmy's here. What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy has actually been kind of my sounding board for the photos episode as well. He's been spending a lot of time at the shop the last couple of days, and I've just kind of been bouncing ideas off him, seeing how well he absorbs them, so he's been kind of helping me write the script and stuff like that, and we've been doing some different testing, and he seems to get it. So if Jimmy can get it, you guys will be fine. So thanks for hanging out with me and helping me get that written, Jimmy. Joseph Alexander says, I screwed up. I hit the autofocus my CO2 Galvo laser and I didn't realize I had my rotary. Oh, my rotary under it in the back. Yeah. Settings are off now. Where should I start to get things back? I have no idea. I absolutely, and this is naughty YouTuber, bad. I refuse to buy an autofocus Galvo machine. I refuse to touch them. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to use them. I don't want to look at them. I'm perfectly happy with my hand crank and my focal sticks, and that's kind of the reason why. So I actually don't know how to fix that. Shoot, man. I don't know. Is it EasyCAD 3? Maybe JMac might have some ideas. You could reach out to him on Discord. Usually throw people that I don't have an easy answer for this kind of stuff. I usually throw them to JMac. So you might want to check that. I have seen laser engraved color-filled photos on black granite. Have you ever done that? No, I haven't done that. I've seen people do it. One person that's really good at that actually is my old boss. His name's Michael Mullins. He's a really smart guy. And he used to, I don't think he has these machines anymore, but what he would do is he would engrave photos into like granite or wood or whatever with a laser, and then he'd run that same job through on like a direct-to-garment or DTG printer, and that produced some pretty impressive results. But I haven't done anything like that directly myself. Please tell me you're going to do more 100-watt gantry stuff. I'm going to do more 100-watt gantry stuff. I'm open to inspiration. Nobody really asks about it, so we don't really focus on it too much. The photo engraving episode applies to every single laser machine. Gantry, Galvo, diode, CO2, UV, fiber, all of them. The topics and points that we cover, the things that we discuss, apply equally to all of those different systems. So you will absolutely be able to use that upcoming episode for your 100-watt CO2 Galvo. If there's more 100-watt CO2 Galvo stuff you want to see, let me know. But I've been trying to focus on like bigger, broader topics that kind of apply to everyone lately, since we do have so many different kinds of laser machines now. I want to make content that's helpful to everybody. So I think that this photo episode is really, machine non-partisan, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what kind of machine you have. The value that you get out of this video is the same. So hopefully that helps. Jimmy's Mira. Yeah, okay, Jimmy. You let me know. Cut fabric on the gantry. See how many layers you can do. Yeah, I could buy some cheap fabric and we can cut some fabric. If my wife is watching, she can put that on the buy list. She kind of manages the buying list now. I'm this close to getting a 30-watt machine. You should. This is a 30-watt machine right here. It's my 30-watt fiber. It's my first fiber laser ever. Still kicking. She's still going. I think fiber lasers, 30 watts, particularly, are excellent machines. They do just about everything that the 50 and 60 watts can do. They just do them a little bit slower. The only thing you really can't get away with are some of the larger lenses in like the 200 to 300 millimeter range. So if you do get a 30-watt machine, please don't buy a 250 millimeter lens with it. You're going to be really frustrated. Start with a small lens, work your way up so that you know what the limitations are as you kind of move into those larger lenses. Question. Are you a little disappointed with the clarity of small detail on CO2 Galvos? Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100 million% absolutely disappointed with the clarity of small detail on the CO2 Galvo. It drives me nuts. I really don't, I'm not stoked about it. If I've learned anything since I've gotten the CO2 Galvos, the CO2 Galvos for two things. Marking big-ish pieces of wood really, 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 really fast, or small pieces of wood ridiculously fast. So if you have like huge numbers of things moving through and you just need to like mark them like wicked fast, That's CO2 Galvo territory. The other thing that it's good for, tumblers. So tumblers or a shit ton of wood really fast. That's what CO2 Galvo is for. If you're not trying to do one of those two things, there's a better machine out there for it. Especially like one-off small details. You know, the UV outclasses the CO2 Galvo in pretty much every way, even on wood, especially on glass and acrylic. So, you know, yeah, I'm disappointed. But, you know, I should have known better. And hopefully I can, you know, let other people know so that they can know better before they buy one. I still think it's important that we have one. Would I have gotten one anyway if I had known how bad the small details on the CO2 Galvo would be? Yes, absolutely. We need to have one in the shop. We need to talk about how to use them. And when applicable, we need to showcase its strengths. And it does have strengths. They're just not the strengths I thought that they would be out of the box. But there are things that the CO2 Galvo can do that none of the other systems do. And that's why having a wide array of machines is important. Alex Campbell says engrave all the plastics with the UV. Yep, absolutely. Got to do that. I need to start collecting some plastic. Difference between red and blue 100 watt ohm tech. Usually the blues have autofocus or like an auto Z bed, and that's about it. So the reds are a little more bare bone. The blues usually have one or two half-assed quality of life improvements. If you're into that, you know, an ohm tech's an ohm tech. Project Mark, we have episodes on that, Jimmy. Patrick's here. What's up, Patrick? Good to see you, dude. Happy Friday. See you, buddy. Wow, everybody's very excited to see Patrick. I'm excited to see Patrick. Hi, Patrick. I'm excited to see you. We have 42 concurrent viewers and 16 likes. And I know that a ton of viewers have left since we've started the stream. So, come on. Smash it. Smash the like button. Yeah, Patrick's super cool. Everybody loves Patrick. What's up, Logan? What's up, Mark? Oh, I've been trying to drink more water. Dr. Axe Gunderman. That's so true. Man, we got to, would a 30 millimeter Galvo head bring better resolution to the higher field size lens? Yes. Only when paired with an appropriate expander. So you have to, sorry, I'm thirsty. You have to make sure, and we just talked about this, so if you missed it, Richard, rewind the stream a little bit and watch a little bit earlier. But you have to make sure that you're not, you know, upgrading the head alone is not enough. The head and the expander need to be paired appropriately in order for it to have, you know, the results to give the effect that you're going after there. So just, you know, rewind. Rewind, go watch that section again, because we just pulled up like a bunch of graphics and I totally explained it. There aren't really many lenses suited to a 30 millimeter head. That's totally true too. You're gonna have a lot harder of a time. Even the standard CO2 Galvo lenses that are out for the 20 millimeter heads, like, don't quite project correctly. I think I need some kind of spacer or something. I haven't really been able to figure it out. But like I'll lose like the tops and bottoms of my fields. It actually can't project appropriately through the lens that's designed for a 10 millimeter head. I'm using 10 millimeter head lenses on my 20 millimeter head and they don't quite work out. So you're gonna have even harder time with the 30 millimeter on that too. Renato Guerrero Angelelli says, hello, friend. Again, I am here from my 4 devices. Hello, friend. You ever consider getting a Steam Deck? Seems like it would make the software workflow much easier. Yeah, I've considered it. I just haven't been able to justify spending the money on it in my head. I say as I just bought a brand new PC and a bunch of new lights and equipment for a home studio. But yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought about it many times. I will continue to think about it until I click the buy button on Amazon and we get it in here, because it certainly would speed up the workflow a little bit when we're doing live streams and stuff. Any thoughts on moving tables, like how accurate and aligned the segmented engraves can be? I have only ever heard of people struggling with them. XY tables seem great for when you have a bunch of stuff kind of jigged up and you're moving through and marking one and then moving and marking another and then moving and marking another and then moving and marking another. But if you're doing one flat sheet, from what I've seen, if you're doing one flat sheet and you're trying to patchwork things together, they typically don't do what you're hoping they're going to do. I've seen a lot of people struggle big time with them. So, you know, I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure that you need either maybe a full-size EasyCAD 2 board or definitely an EasyCAD 3 board in order to do that, because you need two, you need at least two stepper motor inputs, and the light boards don't have it. Some light boards only have one, some light boards have 0. And the EasyCAD 2 has 2 dedicated ports, or the EasyCAD 3, scratch that, has 2 dedicated ports for it. EasyCAD 2, you would have to do some weird trickery where like you're using the extra extension axis and the rotary extension axis, so you would lose your rotary. It's a bit complicated, pain in the butt, but you know, you can do it. I don't know if I would want to unless I had some kind of commercial use case for it to make it worth that. Pew pew the like button. Thanks, Kyle. So what would be the optimal CO2 Galvo for someone trying to blast through a lot of tumblers with the best detail possible for a CO2 Galvo? I mean, I think 30 watts is fine. You might want a little more power, maybe a 40 or a 60 if you're feeling like a real baller, but I've done every kind of tumbler that I could think to do. That's another episode that I have completely shot, and we just talked about excuse me, we just talked about that in the last live stream as well, where I've got this whole episode done where we do the hardest tumbler in existence. Basically, it's a red Yeti and it's just not edited and uploaded yet, but even that came out fine with the 30 watts. So really that's all you need. Just make sure you get a 20 millimeter head so that you're not drawing with a Sharpie, as I always like to say, and you should be in good shape. Motorcycle and Car Channel, hello. Dave Vetter gave the little $1 for the YouTube subscription. Thanks so much, Dave. That's awesome. Just to let you know, your white params the other time never worked for me, but I think it's because mine is not correctly configured. Your white params in my laser made like a goldish effect. Sounds like annealing to me, depending on the material. So you're not quite getting ablation, so maybe a smaller lens, or double check your focus. Ever thought about giving 3D a go, dynamic 3D head? Not really, especially after seeing Lightburn's height map solution that they're integrating into Lightburn for Galvos. After looking at that, I really don't see the need. At some point, we might end up doing a 3D laser just because they're out there on the market and I want to show people what they are and how they work. But they don't particularly interest me. I'm not particularly interested in them. I don't think they're all that exciting. I think there's very specific situations where you need something with a dynamic focus, like 3D head, like as a 3D scan head. I think there's very specific situations where you need something like that to do a very specific job. And in that case, more power to you, go nuts. But I don't think most people need them, and I don't really want to encourage buying them because, I think that's kind of like there's some marketing stuff going on there, and it's really unnecessary for a lot of people. I would argue the vast majority of people are probably fine with a standard lens or a standard scan head. Would a 1064 fiber machine with a minimal field size lens be the highest resolution option versus like anything UV for making small, thin things like aperture grills? Well, if the aperture grills need to be on metal, then fiber's really your only option. The UV will mark metal, but it's not going to ablate it like a fiber would. So yeah, you would want the smallest field size possible. The smaller the field size, the smaller your dot size. So that would give you the highest resolution. It really does make a big difference. During the photo episode, again, we're coming back to this photo episode that doesn't exist yet, but in the photo episode, when I switched simply from the 150 millimeter lens down to the 70 millimeter lens, so we halved our field size, it brought me from, like 180 DPI max to like 300. So a really big improvement there. And you certainly would see similar results. So, yes, smaller field size, smaller dot size, better resolution. I'm poor. Me too. I was trying to figure out the difference between a standard JPT laser, JPT M7, and M8 fiber source, and I came across a video where they were cutting glass. I haven't seen them do that yet. The UV cuts glass great. So that's, when people ask me about that, I still recommend the UV. I'm sure the M8 can do it. I've seen the trailer from JPT on the M8 as well. Don't think they're on the market yet, but I would like to see them. Generally, fiber lasers cannot cut glass, and I've looked at the spec sheet for the M8. I mean, typically fiber lasers can't even mark glass. Not natively. They need like some kind of chemical catalyst, and even then, it's like at best. But I have looked at the M8 spec sheet, and I cannot see what makes it different than the M7 that allows it to interact with glass. So I don't have the answer on that. I'd have to get my hands on one to take a look at it and try it for myself. I really think that I will believe that better when I see it, and I don't see it yet. So, I mean, other than promotional materials made by JPT to promote their product, which I don't necessarily buy. So when I see somebody with their hands on one and they're actually doing this stuff on glass, then I'll get excited about it. But until then, I would say a UV is the way to go. The first day that we had the UV, the day that we did the unboxing video for the UV, we did it live. We cut a hole in glass in like 45 seconds, and it was really impressive. And that's not a gamble. So, I'm excited for new tech. Don't get me wrong. I'm just very, very reserved about getting excited about it before I actually see it, because it's a wild claim. But I've seen the video. I've seen the video you're talking about. Perhaps you can charge me like a 30-minute Zoom so you can help me with some params. I started a company and I have okay colors, but if I could get white on stainless steel, that would be so dope. Go to lasereverything.net/coaching and check out one of the coaching sessions with one of our awesome coaches. I don't have time to do coaching right now. I actually took my coaching link down off of the coaching page because I've just been so busy producing content, getting this set up, doing like the photo video. I'm trying to do more live streams for you guys. I just haven't had time. But that said, we still have a huge range of awesome coaches up there that are more than happy to help. So check out their coaching profiles and see if one of them meets your needs, because I'm sure that they would be stoked to help you with that. Kyle says, yeah, eventually when vendors pick them up, it would be nice to see what they get. Yeah, it would be nice. We'll see. I'm sure they'll start showing up soon. People's Champion, super chat for $20. He says, great channel. Thanks. Thank you. Most appreciated. I always love when the super chats come in. That's super exciting. I appreciate your support. Thank you. How well do fibers do on cartridge brass? Stellar. Really, really good. I'd like to do a depth of 0.008, no problem, on a case head for a custom head stamp. Yeah, absolutely. A fiber laser is the perfect thing for that, and you would have no problems doing it. Well, I actually caught up to the chat rolling in. I didn't think I'd be able to do that, but I did. You guys gave me a minute to breathe. Oh my god, I have to stand up. Oh, Woo. It's a small room, guys. Yeah, so Mactron over here, the little off-barrel one. Oh, there we go. I think 3P Lasers is going to be sending me the follow-up to their EM Smart. So I'm sure you guys have seen them now. At this point, you've probably all seen them, the little 20-watt EM Smart. They are coming out with a follow-up to the EM Smart called the EM Smart 1, which is a 25-watt variant or successor or whatever you want to call it. And they're sending us one. The fiber machine looks so much bigger than it seems. I have ice in my mouth. The fiber machine looks so much bigger than it seems in the photo. They're big. Oh, they're not small. The case is about the size of an average PC case. Tower comes up to my chest on a folding table. I mean, it's not a little piece of hardware. They're fairly big. Leave it to my wife. Blame Matt. He's the one who told me to drink water. Question. When using a CO2 with metal, there seems to be a few sprays available. I've been looking at the Brilliance spray. Any experience with different brands? It's all the same shit. Personally, they're all different formulations. They all act the same. They're all equally easy or difficult to use depending on your perspective. I like Brilliance because it's the cheapest and because we have an affiliate account with them. But that's about it. I mean, honestly, you could buy any of them, and go nuts. But don't overspend on it. It's all the same stuff. It's just a chemical catalyst that will work just about as well as the next. Whether you're getting Ceramark, LBT is the other one, laser bonding tech, I think it is, or the Brilliance laser inks. It's all good. Alex is little, though. I am little. I am very little. I'm only 5'8". I'm 155, 160 pounds, so I'm a tiny guy. Any thoughts on the 20-watt diode laser edition for X-Tool? I don't know. The X-Tools are really expensive. I know everybody's buzzing about the X-Tools right now, and they're spending a lot of money on their advertising. I think they're a little expensive. They offered to send one to me to review, and I was kind of like, we'll see. We'll see if we have time. I might have it sent over to Kyle so Kyle can review it, because I don't really have the time for that. But they just seem a little expensive to me. I'm not sure what you get from the X-Tool that you don't get from something like the Laser Master 2, and the Laser Master 2 is like half the price. So I don't know if it's really a 20-watt. Usually what they're doing is they have multiple diode emitters, and then they're using a beam combiner, and they're combining those into one beam. I don't know what the efficacy is of that, but meh. I mean, if you're gonna get a 20-watt diode laser, like, maybe just get a 40-watt CO2 at that point. The whole beauty of the diode laser that I think people don't get is that at low powers, you have really fine control over your burnout around your dot, right? So you've got on diode, and again, we're kind of getting into like that photo episode thing. It's just my frame of reference right now. The diode, a laser's dot size cannot be smaller than its wavelength. So the diode has, at 455 nanometers, the most potential for the smallest dot size, second only to the UV. So the UV is the only one that could theoretically have a smaller dot size than a diode. And the way you really get to take advantage of that is by using that dot size at low powers, especially on organic materials. We're talking about wood, right? Or leather, another great example, because when the beam hits those materials, there's burnout. You're burning away material around the dot, thus creating a larger dot. And so when you take something like a diode laser, which is painfully slow and inexpensive and not always the most accurate, and you shave away the one thing that it was good at, which is low power, small dot sizes for, that really fine grain work that they're able to do better than just about every other system, especially a CO2 laser. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to hunt for the largest wattage output for a diode laser. That doesn't make sense to me, because that is counterintuitive to the nature of diodes, which is to have that really fine ability that they grant you, and just dumping watts onto that just makes it more difficult to use. So kind of my rant about that, I guess, if you care. Paul, thank you so much for swinging by and hanging out. It was great having you, and hopefully we can have you back soon for another one. Dave Etter says 160. That's what my leg weighs. That's not uncommon. I'm very small. Kind of got off on a tangent there about diodes, but I just don't like that race. Like, we have the gigahertz race forever. Where it was like 1 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz, 4 gigahertz, 8 gigahertz, and like they just kept going up and up and up. And now I've got an i7 in this computer that I just bought, and it's 2.5 gigahertz, and that doesn't really mean anything anymore, and the numbers stopped going up because they started adding cores and things like that. Or like megapixels, it was 1 megapixel, then it was 3, then it was 5, then it was 20, then it was 37, then it was 50, and but the R6 has like a 20 megapixel sensor in it, so it's kind of irrelevant. So I don't think we should just judge lasers based on wattage. I think that's bad. I think that's bad critical thinking. I don't think wattage is the end-all be-all spec on lasers. I think it's important that what you're getting and what that wattage is going to be capable of. It's not like you're putting bigger lenses on a diode. You're not putting like a 300 millimeter lens on a diode, and you need that extra power to drive a larger dot size. So having the extra wattage just doesn't. I just don't know what you would do with it. How tall is Jimmy? Jimmy's shorter than me because he's an old man. All his bones are compressing together. Yeah, totally. About the input outputs too. You got to check that all the time because they do that all the time. 40 watt diode input. It's 40 watts at the plug. Very misleading indeed. We have an episode where you put laser beams on sharks. Yeah, so that'll be when we hit 10,000 Laser Master Academy members. That we'll go ahead and be putting laser beams on sharks. So that's already planned. You could mail us the sharks like my wife is suggesting. I've been talking to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I think I can get them to agree to let us come in and shoot a segment where we actually duct tape some lasers to sharks. But we have to get to 10,000 subs on the Laser Master Academy first. So as soon as we hit that goal, we will get down on that. That's a promise. Should I get a fiber laser straight from Alibaba or find an American supplier holding said laser? How much is the price difference? Obviously, everyone has to get a cut. The more middlemen you put between you and your laser, the more you're going to pay for it. I have always been a big fan of importing your own machine. I think that's still the best way to go. There's a bunch of companies that will treat you very well and sell you a very rock solid machine. If you haven't already seen it, go watch the episode. I think it's called 5 Tips You Need to Hear Before Buying a Fiber Laser. It was one of the first podcast episodes we ever published. Amazing info in there where I expand on this topic quite a bit. So if you haven't already seen that, go watch it, because that very specifically answers the question that you have asked me, with about an hour of content revolving around that. So definitely go check that out. We put lasers on top of the periscopes on submarines. Dope. Have you ever made holograms? No. But that would be cool. I'm going to laugh when 10,000 members happens and someone calls you out for it. That's okay. If I have 10,000 LMA subscribers, we probably have the real YouTube subscriber amount required to go to Monterey Bay Aquarium and shoot that. I would be down. I would do it. No problem. JMac dropped the link there for you on that 5 tips video, so definitely don't skip that. I feel like a more powerful laser regularly working at a lower output is better for longevity compared to a weaker one being close to maxed out regularly. Yeah. I think, that's definitely a lot more of a concern with like charged mediums like CO2 glass tubes where you have leakage. Diode's a diode, it just kind of exists. You're going to be hard pressed to like damage the thing. I mean, I don't even know if you could like just burn it out. Anything will burn out, I suppose, but it would be far more difficult to do it on something like a diode laser, something that's like solid state like that than something like, a CO2 glass tube. I think it's far more of a concern. CO2 laser is arriving soon. Where is the best place to start and crash course Lightburn and Illustrator? Well, I have some stuff on this, but not a ton. We have a great Illustrator episode called Art Prep for Laser Engravers. It's a really good episode. I would check that out. It helps you get like laser friendly files. We cover all of the major techniques that you need to be able to handle to do this job on a regular basis in that episode, and a couple little bit more advanced stuff, kind of some intermediate stuff in there. So I would go check that one out first. As far as Lightburn goes, I don't have a huge library of Lightburn content. We're going to have more soon, but we've always been a little more focused on Galvo lasers here, and Lightburn has just become relevant for that group of people. So I don't have a massive library, but the one place that I would definitely go is the Lightburn YouTube channel. Lightburn has a YouTube channel, and it's literally Jason sitting there at his desk going through and doing things on his lasers with Lightburn. So start at the source, right, and try to learn as much as you can from Jason directly, because he knows the software better than anyone. He wrote it, so that's where I would start. Yeah, MakerREMIX. Hell yeah, love my baby. Would Fonzie jump a laser shark? Art prep video. Thank you. I live in an apartment. Does a fiber laser make a loud sound enough for neighbors to hear? No. You would be fine. I think the neighbors are going to complain about the smell of the aluminum dust long before they're going to complain about the noise. So just make sure that you have an effective way to exhaust or extract your fumes, and you should be in good shape. It's not loud enough at all to bother the neighbors. Certainly quieter than watching a moderately you know, a big action movie at a moderate volume. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. I would not worry about the sound. I would worry about exhaust. That should be your number one priority with the apartment setup. What's up, Jay? How's it going? Good to see you. When will Lightburn for Galvo be released? What's up, Javier? Q2 2022. Yeah, as Patrick said, hopefully. We are still waiting to hear more about that. We are not rushing them because they're doing God's work at lightning speed, and we're all really grateful for the amazing effort that they've put into supporting our hardware that we use on a daily basis. So soon it's coming, I promise. I look at it every day. I'm literally, like, I have my hands in it every day. The last I saw, Jason just finished being able to add core files. So if you have a correction file for a lens on a specific laser, you can import that into Lightburn now. I think he's still working on native lens corrections, but don't quote me on that. That's a guess. I haven't heard that straight from his mouth. But you can import core files right now. It's working fairly well. We should be doing a lot more of that soon. I haven't really shown off too much Lightburn stuff at all because I haven't had my lenses corrected, and there was no way to bring in core files, and I didn't have 12 hours to sit and correct all of my lenses manually one by one in order to use Lightburn in the shop every day. So now that we can import core files, that's going to make it a lot easier to use Lightburn. You guys will start seeing a lot more Lightburn content really soon. Again, starting with the photo engraving episode, which will be out shortly. Oh man, my back is killing me. Yeah, just a good fume extractor. The X180s, I think they are, from Ohmtech, very basic, just simple like HEPA filter setup. They're really inexpensive, and they're great for fiber because the fiber is not putting off like a ton of soot and ash. So, you know, I would look at one of those. I think we have one linked in the buying guide along with all of the extra filters and such that you would need. It's not the actual Ohmtech one. It's kind of an off-brand because the off-brand ironically keeps them in stock better than Ohmtech does, and you want to make sure that you're able to get new filters for that. So, you know, go check that out. But the little fume extractors are fine for fibers. I would just start, you know, I wouldn't use them for like CO2 purposes, where you're gonna have like actual sooty gook. It's gonna jam you all up, but it should be fine for the fibers. Just make sure you wear a mask when you actually go dump that in the trash because you don't want to inhale all of that metal dust. So, you know, you gotta be good. How much exhaust is needed for a diode? Literally a light breeze, unless you're doing something really, like if you jack the diode all the way up to 100% power and you're moving at 1% speed across a really soft wood, obviously it's going to plume smoke, and you're going to have like a big smoky mess. But for most average uses of the diode laser, from what I've seen, literally like if you have just a negative pressure in the room, that will move the smoke outside. It's really not that big of a deal. I would just, you know, make sure you have that negative pressure, and that really does the trick. Like a big fan, or, you know, an open window next to it. As long as the air is moving outside and you're sure the air is moving outside and not blowing back in your face, you're going to be in good shape. But you certainly don't need like a gigantic inline fan with a big hose. It helps, you know, it's nice to have that level of setup, but I don't think that it's required. Again, opinion, not a fact. It's an opinion. I have a box fan with a furnace air filter taped to the back for my diode laser. That's what I'm talking about. That sounds dope. Sounds like a perfect little solution for a little diode. I can't wait to fire up this little thing. I'm super stoked. I'm disappointed. I don't even think I have my fan up here. Like, really wanted to play with the lasers. But the nice thing about having the studio up here is that I can just kind of pop on any time now. even if I'm home. I can just kind of hop in and we can like knock out a project or two here and there, instead of having to like drive all the way to the shop, do all the setup for the live stream, make sure everything's like, you know, ready to go. We can just kind of, I can sit down, I'm in my house, we can turn on a machine, we can knock out a project real quick. So I'm really excited to have the home office. I think it's going to be a big plus for everybody. Patrick raises a good point. If you start messing around with paint, paint fumes are nasty. So I guess it depends on what you're working on. It's a fair point. We are over an hour, guys. So, you know, I didn't intend for this video to be long anyway. How long could it possibly be when we can't use the lasers? So, I think I'm gonna call it, but I had fun. This was like a fun little Q&A thing that we did. Maybe we could do stuff like this more often, and have some more fun. I'm really excited to share this with you guys. I have a TV that's gonna go on a shelf over here somewhere because I want a TV in here. We'll have the exhaust set up soon for the diode and the fiber. And we'll be able to use those more effectively. I'm gonna get I gotta get a tripod for the webcam. Webcam's in a box right there, but we need like we don't have our laser cam set up right now, so we need to get the laser cam set up. But that's it. Otherwise, we're good. I've got the thing. We've got the zoom. You guys know I love to do this, which actually zooms really nice. This camera angle was impossible to get, by the way. It took me a really long time to get things set up just right. On that, so yeah, this is the new scene, guys. I hope you like it. Of course, like I said, Monday through Friday we're still gonna be at the shop doing shop stuff with all the big fancy lasers and stuff like that, but I just wanted an option to do something from like a home office. I wanted to be able to do something with you guys on the weekends. I wanted to be able to do something with you guys after hours, and you know, now we can do that. So while it's not the fanciest thing in the world, it's something, and we have an option to kind of do some stuff off the clock now, and I think that'll be really fun. So yeah, that's all I've got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content is good. And after the stream is over, come back, refresh the page after the stream ends, leave a comment, and just tell everybody that the stream was great, because comments are engagement and that helps get the stream in front of more people. If you really love the channel and the stuff that we do here, and you believe in the mission and you want to support it, head over to the Laser Master Academy. It's the best way to support the channel. We have a bunch of bonus goodies over there for people who support the continued production of the channel. And those are always really great, but the main reason that you sign up for the LMA is to make sure we can keep making the actual juicy core videos that we give away for free. I don't like locking important information away behind paywalls. So the stuff that goes up on the main channel is always going to be the most valuable stuff. You don't sign up and get the most valuable stuff for paying me. Everybody gets the valuable stuff. The general public. I've always believed that, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I believe that everybody has a right to that information, whether they can afford to pay or not. So everything that we do here on the channel, literally every video that we upload, is thanks to our Laser Master Academy members. They make it financially feasible for me to do this. So if you're an LMA member, thank you so much. If you are not already an LMA member, please consider subscribing. Again, you can find that over at masters.lasereverything.net. If you want to poke around the new marketplace while it's being built and finished, you can check that out at shop.lasereverything.net. And if you want to just look at everything else that we do, just go to regular lasereverything.net and wander around there. But I think that's it. I'll see you on Discord. I'll see you on the LMA. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, night, whatever.